Hi, ladies and gentlemen, and parent teachers. Welcome to Making Larger Numbers with Dr. Mendenall. So, I have drawn for myself two 10 frames because every number I need you to create this morning will need to be larger than 10 because we want to practice the larger numbers. So, that means my first 10 frame will have how many figures in it? 10. So let's move those over. We need to have all 10 of these. Notice I start on the left side, and I fill in my top row first. And I have how many objects in here? 10, which is why we call it a 10 frame, right, ladies and gentlemen, because we have 10 in there, 10 things. So we need to make something larger than 10. Most of our math stories we've done with 10 frames have only gone up to the most of 10. So we need to think larger now. What could be a new math story? So 10 friends decide to get on Zoom and talk about their math lesson, and they have a question. They want to know what is the number that's right after 10. So they get a hold of a friend of theirs, and they ask that person. So now how many people are in the meeting altogether? 10 and one more. 11. So you could create your own story that goes with more than 10. Let's see, what's our maximum going to be? We're going to be between 10 and what number? What's the next group of 10? I mean, we've been practicing counting by tens. So 10, 20. So let's see if we're right. Let's see if all of these hearts here are going to equal 10. I still start on the left. I still do my top row first. Okay, so I have shown that I have 10 and 10, which equals 20. Exactly, I have 10 X's and I have 10 hearts. So what if I want to have 2 less than 20? Let's take 2 away. So what do I have? Well, we know we already have 10 on the top, right? We already know this is a group of 10 right here, and it's giving me funky lines, and I want a squiggly line. Let's erase. That's what mistakes are for, fixing. So here's 10. And so then we only need to count down here. And we know this first row is going to be 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 10 and 8. And if I count, I have 10 and then what? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So my total number is 18. I'm going to make it big and fuzzy so you can see it. 18. That is how many objects I have in my two 10 frames right now. That's my larger number. I start at 10 and I go up from there. So on page 443, the beginning of chapter 7, lesson 1, I want you to come up with more than 10. So our first frame you have to fill in and write the number 10, just like you see right here. And then on the second frame, you're going to do in another color maybe, right? If you want, you're going to write some more counters. It says to do 4 more. So let's create 4 more over here. Let's get these oops out of the way. Let me quit making a mess, right? Okay, we're done with our 18 over here. We know that's still going to be 10. But let's move these out of the way now. They said we needed to have 4 more. Does this work? Look at that bottom 10 frame. I have 3 here and I have 1 underneath. Does that work? It does not. When I want to show 4 on a 10 frame, I have to fill in my first 4 squares on my top row. Okay, so this is 10 and 4. So let me write down my 4. Okay, and at the bottom, there's another box right down here. That's going to be our total number, right? So we're going to start at 10 and we're going to count again. Here we go. This is 10 already, so I don't have to count them. We know it's 10. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Exactly. So right here, we're going to write 14 because the 10 and the 4 are 14. That's what they want you to do on page 443. As you turn the pages, you're going to see that the 10 frames already have shapes in them, right? So you don't have to draw that part. Your job is to be counting how many there are. There's a number to trace on the side, yes? That's how many are there altogether. You are the one that's going to have to break that down into the beginnings of a number sentence. All right, so let me show you what I mean. Okay, so on number 1, they did it for you. They have a 10, and then they have the word and then they have how many are in the second 10 frame? 1. And we know that that equals 11. Well, when you get older, you're going to see that this becomes an addition problem. So let's learn it right now. It would be 10 plus 1 equals, and how many did we find in all? What was that word traced over on the side? 11. All right, so this is how we are going to do it. And means to add. So I would like you to have this number sentence that I have on your paper. So let's do another one. Let's look at number 2. Number 2 has clouds in the sky, and it has a number 12, so it must equal 12, right? So how many clouds are in that first 10 frame? 10, and here's their and. Okay, and then how many are in that second 10 frame? 2. Okay, one more than the last one. All right, and then you need to add 10 plus 2. Now, how many does that make altogether? Because that sign, that symbol there that I wrote real messy, means is, right? 10 and 2 is 12. In fact, I'd like to remind you of a dice game, another dice game that you can do. So let's start by you can get a piece of scratch paper, or you can get your little paper book that I made for you and put in your packet. You're going to start with 10, and you only need 1 die this time. If you don't have a die, then your parent teacher can hide a number of objects in their hand and then just set a few of them on the table, all right, like I used to do when I did more than and less than. So on your paper, you need to write 10 plus, leave a space, equals, another space, 10 plus. So you roll the dice, right? Or your mom or dad puts down 4 objects. Let's say they put down 4 things, right? Could be 4 little toys or little paper clips or something. So they put down 4. So you're starting with 10, and then what was the number that you have now extra? It's 4. So you're going to write a 4. And then I need you to figure out what that equals. So we start at 10, and then we count the rest of the objects. 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14. So this is a dice game that you can do that would give you extra practice that's going to help you as you start off on chapter 7. All right, have fun. See you next time.